This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
Do you ever have a day like that where you think to yourself, I'm going to need a bigger boat today? You start the day, you think you got the right size boat, you think you got the right capacity, you think you're all ready to go, and guess what? You're going to need a bigger boat. That's how they felt in Jaws, and that's how we feel every now and then here on the Gary Sutton Show. Welcome to a Tuesday morning edition here on WOYK, live from Brooks Robinson Plaza right here at Wellspan Park in the heart of downtown York. Gary Sutton, Mark McKenzie with you and ready to rip here on a Tuesday morning. Ladies and gentlemen, all brought to you by Anstein and Sparler, attorneys at law, and kindnessworldwide.org. We'll tell you more about them today. You can text us throughout the show at 833-478-4729. That's 833-478-4729. Our back nine text line, the back nine where golf never sleeps, right out there at 259A Pauline Drive in the South York Plaza next to Giant. You can go to the back9golf.com/York-PA on that one. Our question of the day today up literally everywhere. At Facebook on Gary Sutton, or at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook. I'll spit that out. At Gary Sutton Show on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Question of the day, how do you think the president's doing with the economy? There's a recent poll that came out saying not too good, a lot of people are saying. But what say you? That's what I'm interested in this morning. On our question of the day, you can go in there, you can see the video version of that, where I'm sitting with my bright, cheery face telling you all about that. And then answer that at Gary Sutton Show on Facebook and the other places that I mentioned. And I'll take a look at that throughout the day. We might put some answers out there that you come up with on the show. We'll share some of those with you. So we got all that going on this morning. You can also do that on text at 833-478-4729. All the big things going on today, but it is Amazon Prime Day 2026. So the humanity. Prime members get 4 days of exclusive savings, June 23rd to 26th. My favorite Prime member, Mark McKenzie, and we say good morning to him. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
What was the lie? I bought a refrigerator filter. That's the last thing I bought from Amazon.
Was that another gift you got for Deb? Was that what you... Hey, honey, last year was a fly swatter. I got you the ice scraper. And now a refrigerator filter. What's next, huh?
She still uses that fly swatter. I want you to know.
You're still standing for that. I like how you stand by your decisions.
It's useful. It's useful.
I know. You're Mr. Practicality, yes. Mark McKenzie.
You know, I saw a fly in her house not too long ago. Very rare.
Did you mention that to her?
Very rare. Yeah. Where's that fly swatter?
You brought it up?
Yes.
Yeah, and she rolled her eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Like she normally does?
As usual, yes.
Yes. Today is National Detroit-Style Pizza Day.
Yes.
And 11 days to Independence Day.
So what's the difference between Chicago and Detroit?
I always thought Chicago was like deep dish, wasn't it?
Yes.
And Detroit, what is Detroit?
That's a good question.
Is it, if Chicago is like deep dish and say duck, okay, because they're firing off at you all the time. Right. But Detroit, not much. Yeah.
It says here it's topped with brick cheese, pepperoni, and red sauce, and a lacy, crispy cheese crust. That's very, very similar to Chicago style, where it's got that crispy edge all the way around it. So.
It just happens in Detroit.
And it's a Sicilian. It's a thicker.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. What else do we have going on today?
Well, it's funny you should mention that now that I get back here. It is Let It Go Day.
Yeah.
So let it go.
I'm pretty good with that most of the time. Although there was a time.
Yes.
There was a time that I would latch on to something. I've often said I'm pretty good
again.
Slaying the dinosaurs. Yes.
The dragon.
I can slay the big ones. The big things you go after. But the little things, the rabbits, I call them the rabbits, the little things, they terrorize me.
So what changed?
My wife. I think my wife helped me on that. My wife soothed the savage beast, where she said, just let it go. And it was hard. It's hard to let it go if you're a perfectionist or you.
So what convinced you? I mean, was it just her?
I think it was a gradual metamorphosis over into a better way, and now I don't chase as many of the rabbits as I used to. Although there are a few that I can still linger on and hang on to. People say, "Let it go, man. Put it down." And
And generally, and so is it a sign of getting older or more mature?
More mature. I'm pretty sure it's more mature. And, I just find that a lot of the hills I used to charge onto, I now go around. I go around them. I let it go.
Yes.
So good. A very good day for that. A very let it go day.
Yeah. I agree. National Hydration Day. I mean, I guess it's Drink Water Day. I don't know.
I mean, National Hydration Day. I have never seen anything dumber than these hydration breaks they're taking at the World Cup.
Why is that?
I just think it's stupid.
Why do you think it's stupid?
Well, you can...
Dr. Sutton.
Well, I'm sub in, sub out, get yourself a drink, get back into the game. But to take
that slows it down, yes.
To take an entire break
I think it's
for the
like
whole
5
team,
minits.
It's silly.
It's
silly.
a chance for you to go to the bathroom.
Well, that might be true, but I hadn't thought about it like that.
I'm always thinking
always
about the
there, always
positive.
on the cutting edge, yes.
Right. It's National Pink Day.
Okay, and now is that for the
color pink?
Is that just the color? Is that like breast Cancer Awareness Day?
Nope,
I didn't know none of that stuff.
No,
just pink.
It's just Pink Day, and interestingly, it is also Pink Flamingo Day because it was on this date that some guy. You don't think about it, but there was always a first guy. He developed this plastic pink flamingo.
Have you ever had one in your yard?
No.
True confessions?
Never.
Never.
Although, Deb.
Not only have I never had one in my yard, I never thought about having one in my yard. And I thought for anyone who had one in their yard, I had questions about them.
It's actually, how old do you think it is?
I'm thinking like 70, 80 years.
See, well, it was late 50s. Late 50s is
okay, so that puts it right around the 70.
Yeah, so National Pink Day, Pink Flamingo Day. Anyway, Public Service Day, which I think there are several.
Have you ever
of those.
gone by like a house with a pink flamingo there and you go,
oh, yeah.
I wonder if it's real. I tell you, I
never.
And I can't think outside of seeing it and thinking how stupid it looked. I can't ever. Now people are sitting here listening, going, "You hate pink flamingos?" No, I'm not a pink flamingo profiler, but I'm just saying
it's gauche.
Is
it gauche?
Is it right there next to that little guy holding the lantern out front, the little jockey or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Food holiday, pretty boring. National Pecan Sandy Day.
Yeah,
was it pecan?
Yeah,
pecan.
Yeah, and they're okay. If on the cookie hierarchy, on the cookie ladder of importance, where do they rank?
Not high.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on an island and there's nothing else to eat but pecan sandies, that's it, and you have to sit and think about it and say, well, I guess I'll have to eat those.
Exactly.
That's where we are.
Let's move along.
That's the only food today?
That's it.
Oh, my God.
I know.
I can see why you were down. I could sense it in your voice.
June 23rd.
Yeah.
You're about to embark on a whole day. And this day has been greeted many, many times. Yeah. And what did they do with their June 23rd? Well, let me tell you. On this date, in 930... Not 9:30 in the morning.
No,
the year 930. The world's oldest parliament was established. Where do you think that is?
The oldest parliament? Well, it has to be in England.
See, I would have thought so as well. It's the Icelandic.
Oh, the Icelandic parliament.
I would attempt to pronounce it, but I think I'm just going to leave it alone.
Well, as much as we care about the Icelandic parliament, who cares about how you pronounce it?
Let's talk about Pennsylvania. Well,
I'm still working on Reykjavik, so there you go.
Well, at least you can say that.
I can.
In 1683, on this date, William Penn signed land deeds and a friendship treaty with Lenape Indian leader Tammany. And that was in Pennsylvania, obviously.
I just went to a historical lecture on this the other night.
No kidding.
At the Country Club of York. and a local lawyer did a thing on this, and the Lenni Lenape, I think it's called the Lenni Lenape. Now I used to think it was Lenape, but it's Lenape.
It is Lenape.
Tribe. Yeah, it's down in like the Delaware County area and near Philadelphia. But yeah, and of course they screwed over the Indians in that deal, as we normally do in every treaty we had. But yeah, but
see, we let it go.
But
We got
Penn,
over it.
Penn was different. Penn got along. Penn tried to get along with the Indians, whereas other people, like in Maryland, for example, they didn't try that at all. In Maryland, they just wanted to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Here in Pennsylvania, Penn came here and Penn was the only guy in his family who was a Quaker. And his dad had been a big admiral and was a good friend of King Charles, and his dad, and of course Pennsylvania was given to Penn as kind of a repayment to his dad for all the service that he had given to England, and so Penn took that and tried to make it a more friendly place for everybody concerned.
On this date in 1819,
you obviously weren't that impressed by my explanation, but I thought it was
it stands on its own.
Yeah.
It's just,
1819,
first editions of the Sketchbook of Geoffrey Crayon were released by the writer is Washington Irving. You might have heard of him.
Yes.
And in that book was a story that most of us are familiar with, and it was the first. I would venture to say among the first time travel stories.
Oh,
would you count Rip Van Winkle as time travel?
I would say so. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd throw it in there.
It was on that date. 158 years ago on this date, 1868.
Kind of how I felt when I started dating my wife.
Wisconsin,
Rip Van Winkle.
Wisconsin journalist and Senator Christopher Latham Sholes. Christopher Latham Sholes received the patent for a new invention. It's called a typewriter. Which, of course, very few people use anymore. But we do use a keyboard.
You know, when I went to college, and this is amazing. I never took typing in high school. Now, Joel Sears can attest that. Joel Sears is going to be sitting in for me tomorrow. He's sitting here learning how to do the show this morning. Yeah. And Joel will be sitting in tomorrow. I
locked the door so he can't run out.
He's been trying to get out. No! But anyway, I am one of the great one-finger typists of all time, because when I first learned how to type, I was in student teaching. This is the honest God's truth. Student teaching, and the guy said, go type this test. So I did. I went and typed the test up. I didn't know a lot of the rules of typing at that point in time, and I one-fingered it. If I were to look down at this board right here, I could not tell you the first thing on it, but I know exactly where to go.
Okay.
Over the years of having done it the wrong way.
Sure.
And the typing teacher, when I was teaching at Susquehannock, used to tell her kids, never, ever watch Mr. Sutton type if you're going by his door. Go right on by and get to class, because we don't want any bad habits learned. And so I'm one of those, because I know there's a lot of newspaper people did the same thing, that have learned how to type.
Yes.
Like they call it the Columbus style, search and find. And so that's how I type. And it's terrible, and I'm ashamed of myself, but not that ashamed.
Thanks for confessing.
Well, I just thought, true confession.
Sports on this date, 1917,
Right.
Ernie Shore enters the game after Boston Red Sox pitcher Babe Ruth was ejected for punching an umpire.
Really?
Yeah. And it gets more interesting. Ernie, who came in, he retires all 26 batters that he faced.
Wow.
They beat the Washington Senators, and it is ruled a combined no-hitter.
What the Babe did and what he did. So Babe gets one out.
He faced one.
Yeah. That's like you driving on a 350-mile journey. You driving 349 miles. Say, honey, take the wheel here for the last mile, will you please?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, that's pretty interesting. I'd never heard that one before.
Now, I had already mentioned that this date has the oldest parliament.
Yes.
Legislative body. It was on this date, 1943, that the British ambassador to Portugal invoked an almost 600-year-old alliance between England and the Portugal to use the Azores during World War II. So almost 600-year-old alliance. So it's amazing that something that old. Speaking of the war, same year, same day, the RAF was flying over Peenemünde. And do you know what that is?
Peenemünde?
Yes.
You do, and you'll clean it up.
No, that is in Germany, and that's where Werner von Braun's V1 and V2 rocket.
Yes.
And that's when they saw it, and of course, that technically all led to us on the moon.
And then, of course, we went and got Werner von Braun and brought him over here to help develop the nuclear weapon, the atomic weapon, after the war.
Let me run through these real quick because they're important. On this date, 1960, first contraceptive pill available for purchase in the United States.
Okay.
Sexum, a single girl. This date, 72, Nixon and his chief of staff, Haldeman, agree to use the CIA to cover up Watergate. It was the beginning of the end, or the beginning. Yeah, was it the beginning of the beginning of the end?
It was the beginning of the end, yes.
By the way, same day, Nixon, after meeting with Haldeman, then went on to sign Title IX into law, giving funding for women and girls sports. On this date, 1981, longest game in professional baseball, the Pawtucket Red Sox beat the Rochester Red Wings 3-2. How many innings was that game?
I'm going to guess around 20.
33.
Good grief.
Yes. On this date, 2003, Barry Bonds steals second base against the Dodgers. Okay. He becomes the first player in MLB history to have 500 stolen bases and 500 career home runs.
Yeah, he was pretty impressive. All a little help from some drugs along the way.
A little bit. And finally,
he used to count with his feet. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, a little steroid there.
10 years ago, the United Kingdom voted in the Brexit referendum to leave the European Union.
Yeah, big stuff.
It is.
And speaking of leaving the European Union, John Starmer, the Prime Minister, left. He's allowed to live at 10 Downing Street until they come up with somebody new.
Right.
But Starmer becomes this. He was the sixth. I guess the newest one will be the sixth Prime Minister in 7 years. So speaking of making changes quickly, there you go in Great Britain.
No doubt.
When we come back.
Birthdays, too.
Well, we'll hit birthdays, but we'll also tell you about what the F&M poll shows. And as far as how people feel about the economy here, that's our question today. We'll hit that. And other news coming your way, all straight ahead. Here on the Gary Sutton Show, it is a Tuesday morning on WOYK. Back right after this. And welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on a Tuesday morning. We're at 6:25. The F&M poll.
Wait a second. Have you ever heard this song before?
I did, and I was trying to get on by because I didn't want to hear it again. But yeah, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, but do you hear the bass?
I do, but it's not strong enough to get me.
Well, the guy who's playing bass,
It's probably his birthday.
it is his birthday today.
Yeah.
And he had lots of part-time jobs. Like he was the bassist
And
for
his name was...
Journey. He was an American Idol judge. Does any of that help you? He has a famous last name, although he's not a member of that
Ford,
Jackson
John
family.
Ford. Randy Jackson.
There you go. You did get it.
I remember Randy Jackson. I
Yes.
didn't realize he was in there. But,
I didn't either. The things you learn, that's what we're here for. We're here to astonish and amaze. He's 70 years old today.
Yeah, I'm
Last year,
a little giddy myself.
Last year, this guy had an interesting year in the movies. He actor. He's been around a while. He was in Boys in the Boat. Remember that?
No.
You didn't see the one about the Skull Crew that kind of
those guys. I know the movie. I just didn't see it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yes. Well, and then he made a movie, very small movie. It was called Train Dreams.
Okay.
And it got nominated for Academy Award. It didn't win, but I think it did win for like cinematography or something.
Okay.
But the guy behind that, both of those movies, Joel Edgerton.
I remember that name.
Him.
Yes,
yeah, he's 52.
Yes.
Joss Whedon is 62. He's a big director. Frances McDormand, 2-time Academy Award winner.
Interesting actress, yeah.
Fargo, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. That's what the 2 that she won. But then she was also in that. Remember that movie about the being in the van, living in the van?
Yeah.
She almost got another one there.
I think she's a very good actress.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finally, Clarence Thomas is 78
Clarence
today.
Thomas, 78, one of the members of the Supreme Court. Pennsylvania voters are increasingly worried about their finances, pessimistic about the state's direction, and more dissatisfied with President Donald Trump's job performance, according to the June 2026 Franklin and Marshall College poll.
Is this just Pennsylvania?
Yeah, just Pennsylvania. Okay. The poll found that 47% of registered voters say they are worse off financially than they were a year ago, up from 36% in March, while 47% say Pennsylvania is on the wrong track, compared with 36% who say it is headed in the right direction. Now, what could have possibly occurred during that time? Well, you look at the Iran war and gas prices went up. Hello. So again, going back to as gas prices go, so go the mood of the people. And now what will be interesting is gas prices come down, will that number go back up again? We'll wait and see on that. But that's a question this morning at Gary Sutton Show, also on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. What are your thoughts about how the president is handling the economy on other areas like tariffs? Obviously, prices of oil, very important. But a lot of people have different thoughts on that and wonder what you think this morning in that regard. Today is Amazon Prime Day. I don't know how many of you get into that. I don't really, but Amazon's biggest sale of the year is finally happening.
When was the last time you bought anything from Amazon?
Oh, I buy stuff from Amazon. I really do, but I can't. I think
you like getting it delivered.
I do. Yeah, I do. But there are a number of sales around today that you can go out and find. And
maybe I should look.
How about the Arrowhead outdoor folding camping aluminum table?
No,
that's going to be out there. The Pure Daily Care Nuderma Clinical Portable Skin Therapy Wand.
No.
No?
No.
How about the Human Super Beats Heart Chews?
I'm already
I hate
superhuman.
beats. Yes, you are.
You just haven't had them the right way.
Here we go. The Hexclad 10-inch hybrid non-stick wok.
I could use another.
The 10-inch wok. I mean, who doesn't need a 10-inch wok to carry around with them?
If you're going to cook
let your fingers do the walking.
Chinese food properly, that's what you want.
Did you get that? Let the fingers do the walking.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. The Fantic A10 Pro 2-in-1 digital laser tape measure.
That is handy.
Huh? Deb,
Definitely.
your next present. Here we go. The Yuhomi countertop nugget ice maker
Oh, you know what? We used one of those.
Did you really?
It was in the house that we rented at Sea Isle City.
Okay.
And I think you're if you have the right water, you can use them in drinks. But this didn't have that, so it was just for keeping things cool. And I'm telling you, it was a nice supplement to the refrigerator. When you're at the beach, you use a lot of ice. And if there's no store around to go get, a big bag, that thing is constantly making these little beads of ice.
Yeah.
It was cool.
So just some of the things you can get today on the Amazon Prime days. And finally, I knew her fairly well when she was on the York City Council. Tony Smith.
I saw that.
Has passed away.
Yes.
I think she was 93.
Interviewed her many times.
And just, Tony Smith was a really neat lady. Did a lot for people. I mean, did a lot of things behind the scenes. Very political. She and I used to get annoyed. She'd come up and say, "You don't like me very much, do you?" I said, "No, I like you a lot. Every now and then I don't like your politics, and you and I disagree on certain things. But I said, I like you a lot." I always thought she was a really neat lady. But she was a character.
Yes.
But she is, I haven't talked to her in a long time, and obviously she has passed away here on the 18th of June. But
it's funny.
Rest in peace. She was she was a good woman, and she meant well for people. Always thought that she tried to do her very best.
It's funny. See, we don't talk before the show, as Joel can access. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because I wanted to find a way to bring up the passing of a couple of other people.
Right.
So you didn't know that. So since you brought it up, a couple of other people who made significant contributions.
Let's hit them when we come back. Yeah, 6:32 here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. It's a Tuesday morning, live from Wellspan Park, right here in York, Pennsylvania.
us where you live now.
And welcome back. Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. Tell me.
You know this? You don't know this one?
Well, I've heard it. Yeah.
It's REM Stand. We're doing 1980. Oh, maybe 1989.
1989, okay.
Yes, I thought we'd start fresh
Here's
after
our
Martin.
music. Didn't they play that in Shrek?
Probably.
Yeah, I think they played that song in Shrek at some point in time. But
so you were talking about Tony Smith's passing here in
and you
York.
were mentioning some other notables.
Yes, I think that there were two. I'm going to call them giants in their own way.
Okay.
And here's one of them.
He was known as the maestro. He became one of the most influential economic policymakers of his era. He famously warned, as we all remember, of irrational exuberance. In a statement, the Fed noted that Greenspan's passing with deep sadness, adding that, quote, his contributions to monetary policy and economic thought left a lasting mark on this institution, on the broader field of economics, and on the country. Greenspan was appointed Fed chairman back in 1987 by President Ronald Reagan and held the position until retiring in 2006.
That's Alan Greenspan, who died yesterday, or we found out about it. He was 100 years old.
Wasn't he married to the NBC reporter,
Yes.
I think? Or maybe he is.
Andrea Mitchell.
Yes.
Yes. And another gentleman who was in his 90s also passed yesterday, and he was an icon in his industry, Clive Davis.
Many of us don't recognize his name or his face, but we know every word of the songs that he produced and the singers he turned into stars. Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Barry Manilow, Janis Joplin, Kelly Clarkson. Once called the man with the golden ears, Davis won 5 Grammys as a producer. He was hospitalized with respiratory problems, and the Brooklyn-born Davis died at home in New York City, age 94. He started out as a 28-year-old lawyer at Columbia Records with 0 music experience. But over the next 6 decades, he found several record companies, from rock and folk, rap to R&B. Others he helped turn into stars: Rod Stewart, Carlos Santana, Alicia Keys, Bruce Springsteen, Jennifer Hudson, Billy Joel.
Yes, so many. Clive Davis, the man with the golden ear.
And a lot of us remember him most notoriously for finding Whitney Houston. He discovered her and her talent. But he seemed to have a great... he also helped, I think, in the very beginning with American Idol. He was big in that. But he was known as a guy who had a real ear for what was going on. He started out as a mid-level lawyer there at Columbia Records and advanced all the way up to being this icon that you talked about right there. So there you go.
Anything rattling around on your side over there?
Lionel Messi set a record yesterday. Yeah. He now stands alone as the all-time leading scorer in World Cup history. The Argentina legend scored his 17th and 18th career World Cup goals yesterday against Austria.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, the first goal came in the 38th minute, breaking the men's World Cup record of 16 that was held by Germany's Miroslav Klose. And then Messi received a pass from the left as he ran into the box and gracefully fired straight past the goalkeeper to make history. So Messi, if he wasn't already a legend, becoming more and more of that, gave a 2-0 lead for Argentina, not giving up the ball, bobbling around the goal line until he put it past the keeper.
He knew exactly where to be.
Yes.
He's the one who instigated that second goal where it was a longer-ish type pass to a guy on the left, and there was another player that the ball went by, so you figure he's out of the picture, and they're all running towards the goal. But Messi's the guy who's in the middle of the box, so to speak, in front of the goal, and that guy who got the pass, he just turned around and kicked it back to Messi, and boom, it was in the net. So.
Well, speaking of World Cup, Argentina, France, Germany, Mexico, Norway, and the United States have now secured their spots in the knockout rounds. Other squads soon will follow an earning burst in the round of 32 in the first 48-team World Cup. On the opposite side of the spectrum, Haiti, Jordan, Tunisia, and Turkey have been eliminated from this whole thing.
So, and I thought, well, isn't the U.S. playing Turkey, I think, on Thursday?
Yeah.
And if Turkey wins, I don't think it really helps
Doesn't
them.
matter.
But it hurts us. So.
Yeah, well, the United States has already won Group D.
Okay.
Norway's advanced. Mexico's the winner of Group A. Germany's the winner of Group E. France advanced. Argentina's winner of Group J. So,
are you finding it interesting?
I've watched the United States so far. Okay. I mean, I must say, I've watched the United States, but I'm not, I'm not breathless.
There is
anything else.
There is a flow to it, and you can almost know when to not pay attention as the ball is trying to find, as they're trying to work their plays or whatever they're setting up, and then all of a sudden it just comes out of nowhere, and there's this little opening. There's this little kick if the ball bounces just the right way, and if your heart stops, like what's going to happen? And it misses. Yeah. Most of them miss.
I know.
So it's like, how did he miss that goal?
I know.
And then later on, there's only a couple of goals a game for the most part.
Do you know what's come out of this tournament?
What's that?
That this is the one tournament where the small countries are on even par with the big countries. You have Cape Verde. Some of these other small
that's the
little
exception, don't you think?
Yeah, but no. I mean, you've got like the Congo. I mean, the Republic of the Congo has been doing well. A lot of these, it doesn't matter. I mean, because soccer is such a boring sport that you just keep on running around the field with 11 people, and nobody seems to know where they're going.
Oh.
I'm just saying. But that is the one thing that has hit me. That
right?
Cape Verde tying Spain. Spain's like the defending champion, right? And then Cape Verde goes out and ties them. So there you go. Another story this morning, and this. I'm not sure if this is a story mark or just another conjecture. A ransom note related to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie, said the 84-year-old had died. CNN and other news organizations are reporting, citing law enforcement sources. Some media outlets had previously reported receiving ransom notes tied to the case in the days after Guthrie's disappearance in early February from her home in the foothills just outside Tucson. CNN reported Monday that one of the notes revealed that Nancy Guthrie was dead and those who kidnapped her did not mean to kill her, but she died shortly after her disappearance. You remember she was missing drugs and all that.
Yes.
CNN said it knew the contents of one such note and that a Tucson TV station had received two notes. CNN and the station agreed to hold off on sharing the contents of the notes publicly, so any future communications with the kidnapper or kidnappers could be authenticated, CNN reported. Pima County Sheriff's Department declined to comment on the note's contents, but that's another in that sad story.
How about if I lighten things
a
little bit?
Go ahead.
Well, I mean, nobody got hurt. Let's put it that way. But it's been a while since we've done stories about Florida.
Yeah,
and I have a couple noteworthy for a couple of
things that are kind of dumb and unusual happen in Florida,
like,
seemingly more than their share.
I just came from a week at the beach, and we were with Deb's entire family was there for the most part, and so we would go down with like 6, 8, 9 people, couple of kids, and the new thing this year that we didn't have at the house last year was this push cart. But it has really big balloon tires, so that you can push it on the sand
on the beach. Yeah,
I mean, you can put all that stuff in there. It doesn't, you lean it back and push, and it's no problem at all. Goes right over the sand.
Sure.
And then when it's time to leave, you got to check around, make sure all the toys are in it, all the blankets and stuff. Now, I could imagine leaving, a bucket or a pail, but I don't think you would leave a baby.
The Texas couple was enjoying the Walton County, Florida beach, deciding to take a walk in the sand and leave the baby behind. 37-year-old Sarah Summers Wilkes, a U.S. Heart and Vascular executive, and her 40-year-old husband, Brian David Wilkes, entering deferred prosecution agreements. They will avoid charges if they comply with a series of conditions, including community service. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
And
wait, they walked away.
Yeah. How do you do that?
How do you do that?
Honey, it seems like we're forgetting something. Yeah. Okay, we got the shovels. We got the.
All right, so they were, they were like 30s, around 40.
Oh my gosh!
How about this guy?
Why
in
some
Florida?
people should not have kids, by the way.
Yeah, this guy in Florida, a little bit older, but he definitely should have known better.
The Lake County Sheriff's deputy couldn't believe what he saw when he pulled over the Nissan 350Z convertible that was flying faster than 100 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour zone. He found 85-year-old William Bosworth behind the wheel. Cops say that he was in a street race against a red Corvette. Bosworth taken away in handcuffs. The 57-year-old driver of the other car was pulled over by another deputy and arrested as well. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Wow.
Age knows no boundaries, right? And this one, finally, National Guard members and U.S. Park Police patrolled the deck around the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool on Monday as President Donald Trump's administration faces a self-imposed deadline to fix a botched renovation before the nation's 250th anniversary celebration. The patrols came 2 days after President Trump said authorities had made multiple arrests, quote unquote, of people he insisted were responsible for damage to the peeling coating after an algae bloom occurred. The liner was installed as part of his $14 million plus project. The president has confirmed that the problems most likely required draining the pool again for liner repairs, and he promised a quick fix without offering substantiation. He also said vandals dumped fertilizer in the pool and slashed the coating with a box cutter. This coating wasn't supposed to come up. It was a blue coating, and they're seeing pieces of it coming up. And he's saying, well, it got slashed. The timeline was not clear Monday, with the White House saying damaged areas are still being assessed. Contractors and federal workers in recent days have been using chemicals and ozone nanobubbles to combat the algae. So we'll see what happens there. And what's going to come out of that.
Coming up around the corner, let's talk about, you and I always talk about auctions and historical items for sale. And I'm not sure this one concerning the Titanic is going to happen because I believe the government is getting involved. So we'll find out about that.
I'll look forward to hearing that when we come back here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on a Tuesday morning on WOYK.
So,
who is this?
Are you intrigued?
Kind of.
Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians from 1989, excuse me. What I Am is What I Am. It was kind of
Who can argue with that?
a free-floating kind of bohemian kind of thing. And you know who she captured the eye of?
Who?
Paul Simon.
Really?
They got married.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think they're still married. That could be wrong.
I can't believe that. You mean they have divorces with the?
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Amazing.
Let's talk about the Titanic. Lots of items have come up for sale, and it's supposed to be kind of against the law, right? To take things from a grave.
Well,
I think it's
not really, but it's kind of, you know, there are different thoughts about that.
Okay.
I think the guy that originally discovered the wreck of the Titanic wanted it to be just left alone, and a lot of people, particularly a French company, has come up with a lot of these things, and they're saying it's kind of ghoulish to bring this stuff up.
I don't know if that's played into this because I don't know all the details.
Right.
But we're about to find out about a sale of Titanic items. But is it going to happen?
As Titanic, the company that owns exclusive Titanic salvage rights, wants to sell artifacts for the first time. But RMS has made agreements previously to only display them at museums and traveling exhibitions, which is how RMS makes money. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has oversight of the wreck site. The agency argues in court papers the RMS auction would violate the company's legal obligations. RMS did not respond to requests for comment. The company has made attempts over the years to sell artifacts to fund future explorations as it faced financial trouble. Those efforts were roundly opposed by the courts. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
Yeah, so it's generally, they want to do it, but it's kind of frowned upon.
Yes, it is. The Titanic, the more we hear about it, is gradually going back into the earth. It's being overtaken by these.
The metal is
metal's corroding, and they've got these organisms that have taken it over. But it's kind of sad. But by the way, the Pennsylvania budget, a lot of people keeping an eye on that. It's due in 8 days, and lawmakers gathered at the Capitol on Monday to discuss it. If a budget is not passed by June 30th, it would mark the 5th year in a row that a budget hasn't been passed by the deadline, which is mandated by the Pennsylvania Constitution, but not followed.
What happens if they don't do it?
Nothing. Nothing.
What does the Constitution call for something to happen?
It should. It should call for them not to get paid and not to be retroactive when they get it settled, but they haven't done that yet. The Democratic-controlled Pennsylvania House of Representatives has indicated that it has done its job after passing a $53 billion budget backed by Governor Shapiro back in April. However, the Republican-controlled state Senate pumped the brakes on the bill, claiming it was too expensive. One of the biggest things to look out for this month is legislation regulating skill games after the state Supreme Court last week ruled that they are essentially slot machines that should be regulated and likely taxed as such. The court gave lawmakers 120 days to figure it out. That talk about throwing a grenade into the oatmeal room. And it is unlikely it will make it in the budget, but many lawmakers still consider it a priority. The House and Senate both held sessions yesterday. Leaders from the Pennsylvania Senate issued a statement on Monday afternoon after the session regarding the progress, expressing optimism about an agreement soon. They said, while divided government naturally brings differing perspectives and objectives, it also creates an opportunity to find common ground and put the needs of Pennsylvanians first, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like the normal kind of political ease that we hear out of Harrisburg and Washington, D.C.
Well, speaking of government money, there is a display in Maryland about colonial money.
Rare paper money from the colonial era is now on display at the Gaithersburg Community Museum in Maryland. The exhibit features notes from all 13 colonies, including some signed by men who would later sign the Declaration of Independence. Museum manager Naomi Paquette says the collection offers a unique window into America's founding.
So you're seeing paper money that was issued by the colonies before the Revolution and during the Declaration of Independence and the American Revolution.
The exhibit runs through August 2nd. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
You know, I remember as a kid, I was always fascinated by this for some odd reason, but we would go to I lived in Manassas for a while, and then later when I went to school in Rhode Island, we actually where do we take a field trip? You know, down to Manassas.
Right.
Anyway, they would sell, especially at like the Smithsonian and places, the like Confederate dollars. You know, they the old it was stylized,
right?
You know, and it was like
it's like the old Declaration of Independence. You know,
yes.
you get the parchment paper.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, I don't know if it was actually made out of that, but
yeah. But good stuff.
Yes, we used to hold on to that. Like, look at this. It's like real money because we didn't have any.
You were pretty excited about that. And then you tried to spend it and found out it doesn't work too well.
It does not work.
Presidential visits. By the way, the president is visiting Pennsylvania today. He'll be up in the Lehigh Valley to talk. He's going to be at Mack Trucks. And he's going to talk about manufacturing here in the country and how his tariffs are actually helping by forcing people to come back and manufacture things here. It's expected to cause localized traffic delays up there today. That's the one thing that we can be aware of. Also, ICE facility developments. Senator John Fetterman confirmed that ICE has canceled plans to open new detention centers in Berks and Schuylkill counties, and he was very happy about that they're not going to be opening those. So again, a couple of news shorts there for you happening here in Pennsylvania. And when we come back here on the Gary Sutton Show at 7:05, we get James Sanders joining in here. And James is going to talk about some things happening on the AI scale. We're always seemingly talking about AI with him, but Wall Street is having a hiring dilemma. AI can model, but can't make the next rainmaker. And James is going to talk about what that article is all about when he joins us here. Then Vance Miller will get in here from the York County School of Technology, adult ed and continuing education, and tell you the latest opportunities for you. Maybe you were looking for a job. Well, he may have some possibilities for you, and he'll do that here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. Still out ahead this morning at 8:05, Jamie Norpel and Eugene DePasquale, all here on a Tuesday morning edition of the Gary Sutton Show. Don't forget, tonight, the Revs are in Charleston, West Virginia. 6:15 is airtime, 6:35 game time. Daryl will have all that for you tonight, weather permitting. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK, where it is 7 o'clock.
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good.
I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
I feel the need for speed.
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
And welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK. We're at 7:04 on a Tuesday morning live from Brooks Robinson Plaza, right here at Wellspan Park in the middle of downtown York, where the Revs will not be playing this week. They're in Charleston, West Virginia. And you can listen to the game right here tonight, starting at 6:15. Darryl on the air. I believe 6:35 is first pitch, or it might be 6:30. But that'll be live from Charleston, West Virginia, as the Revs trying to get another winning streak started. And you can listen to it all right here on 98.9 FM and 1350 AM WOYK. All of this show brought to you this morning by Ann Stein and Sparler, attorneys at law, 117 East Market Street right here in York, where they are ready to help you with all of your law concerns today. If you need some advice or if you need representation, Ann Stein and Sparler has been doing that since 1937. They can do it for you when it comes to estate planning, estate administration, family law, business law, elder law, municipal law, military law even. And they're at 717-846-8811. And that's Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. Ann Stein and Sparler, attorneys at law. And, of course, Kindness Worldwide at kindnessworldwide.org. You know, kindness is free. It's the world's greatest superpower. It merely requires a personal choice to unleash its vast potential. So why not you? Why not us? Why not now? kindnessworldwide.org. The film, by the way, for such time as this, has now garnered 15 awards and honorable mentions around the world, and so it's doing quite well so far. And you can get a chance to get Kevin to show that to your local group by going to kindnessworldwide.org and check out his email, okay, on that, and get him to come out and show that to you and get a great discussion going on. Our Back Nine text line is open for you this morning at 833-478-4729. The Back Nine, where golf never sleeps, the indoor golf facility out at South York Plaza. And check that out today at thebackninegolf.com/York-PA. Our question of the day, how do you think the president is doing with the economy? A Franklin and Marshall poll came out that said not too good. A lot of people in Pennsylvania feel a little down about that. But how do you feel as you look at things overall with regard to oil and food staples and things like that? So all of that out there for you this morning. With that, we turn this morning to James Sanders, our business blogger, who joins us here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. Good morning, James. How are you?
Good morning, Gary. How are you today?
I'm well. I'm really well. I'm ready for bear, and I always love your articles that you come up with each week because you always tickle my brain a little bit. And this week is no different. Wall Street hiring dilemma: AI can model, but can't make the next rainmaker. Tell me about this article this morning. This looks like a good one.
Yeah, no, it's a great struggle, and you know, I picked up on this article last week, and anytime I see Jamie Dimon talking about something, right, I think he's just an absolute. He's in that Warren Buffett class where what he says has, you know, you got to think about.
People are listening, yeah.
Yeah, but this is the struggle of, you know, how do you replace staff with AI capabilities, and when you replace that staff, what are you truly losing? And what this article hits on is the fact that, and we've talked about this before, as you're going through your career and you're making your way up through an accounting firm, an investment banking firm, whatever job you're doing, a law firm, you've got to learn how to do certain rote tasks. So by the time you're at that level, making those decisions, strategic decisions, hiring decisions, growth decisions, whatever, it doesn't matter. You understand what it's like to be in the trenches. That's why, I liken this to when you buy a McDonald's franchise, right? You go work at a McDonald's historically. You go to Hamburger U, but you're cleaning toilets, you're making burgers, you're frying the fries, making the milkshakes, you're doing all of those road tasks. before you actually run the organization. That's what this article is getting at. It's saying that, when we hire these junior bankers and we bring them up through the ranks, our fear is that if they don't have the ability to understand kind of how the sausage is made by the time that they're doing investment banking deals, refinancings, whatever, they're going to have a tough time guiding their clients to the most educated decisions to be, as well prepared for their business as possible. That's what this is getting at. And that was my fear the whole time, is the fact that you lose that human element if you start cutting these rote tasks and these lower level jobs and replacing it with AI.
James, we have this apprenticeship model that we've used for a long, long time, and you just described it very well, where you do a lot of the unmentionables on the way up to, becoming the head of a company or becoming a, high-level employee. And so this is an apprenticeship model, and which junior bankers perform kind of rote tasks. Again, you described them very well right there. So the question is, how do you get an AI kind of situation where they can duplicate that? And it sounds to me in the article like they're hard-pressed to figure out how to do that, that maybe that doesn't exist, and that this is one area where there's a lot of nuances that you have to know, human reactions that you have to have, and I don't know that you can build those into any kind of AI model. Is that kind of a hitting on the point at all?
Yeah, no, it absolutely hits on the point. And I think where you're going to see a shift in this is you're going to see these junior bankers figuring out ways to design AI models to do some of the rote tasks so that they understand what's going on, and they may not be coming in at that ultimate entry level role, but they're going to be they're going to be learning how to do that so that they can accelerate up the learning curve a lot faster. On the flip side of that, Gary, I think the important thing is the AI landscape and the AI capabilities is really going to benefit the startup companies. It's really going to benefit the small to medium-sized businesses because they're going to be able to replicate some of those rote tasks and compete. Maybe not, it's not like your local, 3 or 4 branch bank's going to go compete with JP Morgan, but they could go maybe compete and move up the ranks to an M&T, or something, of a little larger scale because they can ultimately adopt these AI strategies. I see a lot of capabilities here, and I see a lot of these companies figuring out other tasks for these entry-level folks to come in and learn.
Do we lose the human element here in the long run? If you look down the line, let's say 10 years from now, do we still have the human element here? I mean, the human element is creating this AI stuff, and yet at the same time, are we phasing ourselves out? Do you have the ability to have the AI come into this kind of thing where you have executives and so forth operating companies? Your thoughts on that?
No, I would say that ultimately you're not going to use that human element. I think that people still want to deal with another genuine human. Yeah. Although what I will tell you is the AI bots and what you're seeing out there are getting better and better and better. But hopefully the human kind of sniff test on it, for lack of a better term, is able to kind of see that that's an AI bot, not an actual person. I don't think it'll ultimately go away. We've been around for how many thousands of years and how many technological innovations. We've figured out a way to maintain that human element. I don't think that's going to change over time. But I've never seen it as close throughout my life as it is now.
Well, and maybe the question would be, you're still going to be dealing with a human element, just not as many of them. How's that? I mean, where you're going to have a human in charge of this capacity to have bots and so forth, and so you'll still have humans involved, but maybe not to the extent or with the kinds of numbers that we've seen right now, where you're going to have mid-level employees and all that kind of stuff. There might not be a need for them.
Gary, it's crazy for me to watch this. You know what? We were down in Annapolis. I'll give you an example. 2 weekends ago, and I was going out to pay for parking, and you scan this code, and all of a sudden you get an AI bot right there. Yeah. And then we go to our hotel. We have the same thing. We get an AI bot when I go to pay for parking. Now, mind you, I didn't catch that we had to pay for parking at the hotel, so I go to the hotel attendant in the morning, and they say, oh, they're just going to automatically look up your license plate, and they'll send you a bill for the parking. I said, who is? The AI bot is. They don't even have parking people coming around giving you tickets anymore. It's all in the it's crazy to me. And there's an elimination of a human task.
Yeah, and it is crazy, and it's very efficient. I mean, so now they're going to send that to you, and no human being had to come around and check the meter or check where you were parked or any of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it really is kind of crazy to think of all this. And I'm not sure right now if we know the extent to which they're going to take over. The ability that we've given them to be autonomous in the long run. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think ultimately that's going to get legislated out, or at least Congress is going to attempt to legislate it out. Now the question is, who's donating to who, and what are and aren't they going to allow to go through? We'll see that over time, but remember, lawyers and legislators write laws to sustain jobs, not to have jobs replaced, because they have to get reelected. And last I checked, AI bots aren't part of the voting public, at least not that I'm aware of.
Not yet. When the lawyers are AI bots, then we better start worrying, because you know where their prejudice is going to be. So yeah. Hey, great article this morning, man. Really appreciate it. Always good talking to you. And we'll keep our eyes on this, as we talk about so often, to see the extent to which this all kind of infiltrates our workplace. But always great to talk to you about these articles on a Tuesday morning, James. Thank you so much.
You too, my friend.
Have a great week, okay? By the way, you can stay comfortable on a long road trip. And you know who wants to be your road companion? Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. I say stay comfortable on a long drive because a working AC is not just nice. It helps you to stay comfortable and focused. And if it's not blowing cold or your engine temperature seems higher than normal, have it looked at before you travel. Bring it to Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships, and they'll keep you cool and confident on the road, as they are your road trip companion for the summer, no matter where you're going. Whether it's SUVs for the family, trucks for adventure, sedans for the daily drive, wherever the road takes you, they've got a vehicle for you right now, and pre-owned vehicles at Jack Giambalvo. In fact, if you go to GiambalvoPreOwnedInventory.com, you can find those the pre-owned inventory there for you right now at the 6 great locations. And what you get when you buy a pre-owned vehicle at Jack Giambalvo: free lifetime PA state inspections for you and anybody in your household, or a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty included on most pre-owned vehicles. I said or. It's not like or and, I should say. 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty included on most pre-owned vehicles. Their vehicles go through a vigorous inspection to ensure they're roadworthy. You would expect nothing less of Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. They've been doing this for 50-plus years of establishing trust, quality cars, and reliable service. So what are you waiting for? Why don't you get over there to Giambalvo today, or get on the web right now, GiambalvoPreOwnedInventory.com. And one of the things I can guarantee you, it'll be a hassle-free, pressure-free approach. It's easy to find the one you love at Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships. 50-plus years of excellence here in York County. Check them out today and tell them Gary Sutton proudly sent you to Jack Giambalvo family of dealerships, and get on the web right now at GiambalvoPreOwnedInventory.com. WOYK News Time, 7:17.
Fox Sports Update. The FIFA World Cup.
Messi! History in Dallas! Mbappe! Don't worry, Lionel. He's coming for you. Haaland again! Scores again! That's what he does! Does it again! The master marksman!
On Fox Network TV, a banner day at the World Cup for some of the biggest names in soccer. Lionel Messi scored both goals for Argentina in a 2-0 win over Austria. Messi became the all-time leading goal scorer in the World Cup with 18 goals, 2 more than Miroslav Klose. And Kylian Mbappe, who also scored 2 goals Monday for France in a 3-0 win over Iraq. Both Argentina, the defending World Cup champs, and France secured spots in the knockout round of 32 teams. Norway superstar Erling Haaland scored 2 more goals, led the Vikings into the knockout round with a 3-2 win over Senegal. Algeria came from behind to beat Jordan 2-1. I'm Jared Max.
Get more on the Fox Sports app and foxsports.com.
And welcome back to Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK on a Tuesday morning. A couple interesting stories for you. And one of them, Pennsylvania gas prices are down 50 cents over last month so far. So we're seeing a drop in that. Of course, the Strait of Hormuz is supposedly open now, although there's, we're up and down on those stories. Not quite sure exactly where all that is. But the Strait of Hormuz, it seems like we are at least pointing in that direction. Gas prices across Pennsylvania have begun to dip closer to the national average of $3.99 a gallon. According to AAA, the current average price of a gallon of regular gas in Pennsylvania is $4.14. Thank you, Governor Corbett, for that. That's down from $4.26 a gallon last month and $4.63 a gallon last month as well. Or $4.26 a gallon last week and $4.63 a gallon last month. Excuse me. Want to make sure we get that right. The state's average remains about 80 cents higher than this time last year and 15 cents higher than the national average. So we're continuing to watch that. Residents in the mid-state are seeing prices closer to the national average, with some counties seeing the average dip below before $4 a gallon. Just saw that today. Hunting licenses are going to go on sale. What's changed this season? Well, hunting licenses for the new season went on sale yesterday following several changes to the season made by the Pennsylvania Game Commission. Press Secretary for the Pennsylvania Game Commission, John Buffone, said that the first day of license sale marks the official start of the new season, a day that is like Christmas for hunters, by the way. There are a number of changes being implemented for this year's hunting season, specifically regarding bag limits for certain birds, such as turkeys, ducks, and other migratory birds. There are also extensions to archery bear season, firearms elk season, and more. But the most notable change this year is an increase in antlerless deer licenses. The Bureau of Forestry said the move aims to help protect ecosystems from overpopulation. Some areas have an extreme overabundance of deer, actually, and it's vastly impacted the habitat and the vegetation. And hunters are playing a critical role in helping us manage the herd, Chief of Communications from the Bureau of Forestry, Jeff Wolfslegel, said. Deer management also helps to protect more than vegetation. That's important for, species far beyond deer, for songbirds, for, a whole host of things that need healthy, vibrant forests for their life cycle, he said. Hunting licenses are available all year long. So they went on sale yesterday, and there you go.
So let's talk about health news.
This is House Call for Health. June is Cataract Awareness Month. The condition is a clouding of the eye's lens, which typically occurs among people over age 40, but can happen at any age. Removing them is a widely available treatment, but the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says there are potential roadblocks to that, including the cost, insurance coverage, and lack of awareness about the procedure. Risk factors for cataracts can include age, diabetes, smoking, and prolonged exposure to sunlight. Symptoms can include colors seeming faded, blurry vision, light sensitivity, and trouble seeing at night or double vision. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
And here's a major story this morning, Mark. Amidst all the important stuff, it turns out that washcloths and loofahs might not be doing your skin any favors.
Why is that?
If you're using a loofah in the shower, tune in. Dermatologists say washing with your hands is the safest and most effective way to clean your body. Your hands are less likely to irritate the skin, and unlike loofahs, They don't sit around collecting bacteria between showers. Loofahs can become a breeding ground for germs if they're not cleaned after every use. That can be especially problematic for people with eczema, acne, and sensitive skin.
And these are those plastic ones.
But washcloths get a little bit more love from dermatologists, but they still come with a warning. They can provide gentle exfoliation by removing dead skin cells, but using them every day may damage your skin's protective barrier. So, if you use a washcloth, just wash it frequently and hang it up to dry in between uses. And if you're using a loofah, make sure that you're cleaning that. I don't know how you do that after each use.
I think you probably should rinse it.
Yes.
But make sure it's a good rinse. I mean, really.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, that's what you have to do.
Let's talk a little bit more about health news. This one, I've heard it go back and forth, Let's see where the current line lies when it comes to alcohol consumption.
Researchers behind a federally commissioned study say adults who choose to drink should limit themselves to no more than one alcoholic beverage per day. The report, published in the Journal of Studies on Alcohol and Drugs, found no evidence that alcohol provides a protective benefit against death from any cause, challenging the long-held belief that a daily glass of wine might be good for your health. Instead, researchers say even moderate drinking is associated with increased risks for more than 200 diseases, including certain cancers and liver disease. Researchers say the findings add to growing evidence that when it comes to alcohol, less may be better for long-term health. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News.
I'll drink to that.
Now, if I say to you, Mark, cheerleader, what is the first word you think of?
Sis-boomba. Or is that 3 words?
Yeah, geez, I shouldn't have asked. How about Dallas Cowboy? You know, you think about cheerleaders. Yes. Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders that became the first of the NFL cheerleaders to get some recognition, scantily clad usually. But I read something this morning. This relates to nothing that we talked about so far.
Great. Fits right in.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we could do more with that than anybody you know. These are the rules of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. And I said I didn't realize they had rules, but apparently they're fairly structured.
Okay.
For example, no visible tattoos. You can't have any visible tattoos.
It's understandable.
Right. Glitter eyeshadow is a no.
Oh.
For a Dallas Cowboy.
Probably dangerous.
Cheerleader, yeah. Dating NFL players is prohibited. Or doing anything else with NFL players is prohibited.
Wait till you get kicked out.
Yeah. You have to maintain your size. You don't get a new uniform. So if you grow out of it, you say it's shrinking. No, it's not what happens. You have to be in full hair and makeup every day. You can't be anywhere alcohol is served or attend parties. You
what?
can't.
The stadium is that?
I know. It's the whole place. You can't miss rehearsal ever. You must say, yes, ma'am. You can't post provocative photos on Instagram. I mean, just wearing a Dallas Cowboy outfit would be a provocative photo. I think. And you have to avoid spray tans with orange tones. So those are some of the main rules. So for anybody out there that's thinking about becoming a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
I just thought I'd mention that.
Thank you.
Vance Miller, who is in no danger of ever being a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, is going to join us next here at 7:35 on the Gary Sutton Show. He's the head of adult and continuing education over at the York County School of Technology. But he is a guy who's got some jobs that pay. So if you're a person that's been out of the workforce for a while, or maybe you're just going in, or maybe you'd like to switch jobs, whatever the reason might be, Vance Miller is the guy who's got the skinny on what is happening. He's going to tell you all about it when he joins us next on the Gary Sutton Show at 7:35. But first, we take our news break. It's 7:30. I wish you could see Mark McKenzie moonwalking over here. That's it, baby. He's got happy feet.
Takes me back.
Yeah, this is what, 1989, you said?
Yep.
Yeah, 1989 music. What's her name? Karen White?
Karen White. It was a big year for her. She had a lot of, it was, with dance music was really big back then.
Well, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK. And so glad you could join us here on a Tuesday morning where it looks a little iffy outside today. I'm supposed to play in the Human Life Services golf tournament today out at Heritage Hills. I hope it's just going to be some brief showers here and there. I can live with those, but the thunderstorm possibility, not good. Not good.
Normally, if there's lightning, do they clear the course?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you don't stay on the course with lightning. No, you get out of there.
I once stayed, and I imagine you've probably stayed in a lot of those little bunkers or those little sheds that some of the...
I've visited my share of sheds in my lifetime, yes.
I remember one in particular where it took forever for the storm didn't stop, but we thought the lightning had stopped.
Yeah.
So then we made a run for it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, we welcome in this morning Vance Miller, who I'm sure has never shared a shed during a lightning rainstorm. He is the head of adult ed and continuing education over at York County School of Technology. EducationThatPays.com. He is the guru of all of that. And good morning, my friend. How are you?
Not bad, Gary. How about yourself?
Good. Have you ever gotten stuck in a storm on a golf course and had to hide in a shed?
Yes, I have a great story. So we're in a golf tournament up in the hills.
Okay.
And a thunderstorm comes rolling over the valley. They sound the alarm. We're flying back in. The raindrops are flying all over the place, and lightning bolts are flying everywhere. And my father-in-law is driving. We go down this embankment towards the parking lot. He accidentally hits the park brake.
Oh, no.
We did a 360, spun around. How we didn't flip the golf cart, I don't know, but he managed to kick the fuel pedal right as we got to the blacktop, and boom, we just kept going, didn't skip a beat.
Oh, my. That's impressive. When you act like you've been there, when you stay under control. Now, me, I'd have been leaping out of the cart, I think, but yeah, I get it. But yeah, I'll tell you what, it's... I've been out in some awful storms. I've played in some awful storms, and but man, when lightning comes around, it's time. Now, when I was a kid, I can remember we played. Well, I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down yet. That kind of stuff. I mean, when you're a kid, you hardly left the golf course, and the lightning and thunder be coming. You didn't care. I mean, you didn't care. But now, as I'm older and a little bit wiser, allegedly, I care more about that kind of stuff. I'll be out there today. Hey, speaking about weather can change rapidly, how about today's rapidly changing job market where, hands-on skills, specialized training are more valuable than they've ever been before. And we're seeing people in terms of adult education who are jumping to that kind of thing right now. And that's where York County School of Technology, adult ed, and continuing education comes in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a change in the market, man, and I think it's only going to get worse. If I could predict the future with AI and as rapidly as that's moving, I think there's going to be some white-collar jobs, in jeopardy going forward with that. But guess what? AI can't weld. AI can't fix a clogged drain. AI can't get your AC working back again when it's nice and hot out. There's a lot of things that AI can't do, and most of them are in the career and technical education field.
Well, what's interesting on this, Vance, is that, we think about the career and technical education, the CTE programs. They're not just for high school students anymore. I mean, you talk about a great option for adults looking to reskill, upskill, or just completely change careers. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we all graduated high school, we were like, we weren't sure what we'd do. I know I went to college, actually was going to be an industrial arts teacher and kind of came full circle, but that ain't what I did for the first 16, 20 years out of high school. So, you don't really know until you're an adult sometimes what really is going to be your thing. And here's an opportunity to go test the waters and see. I mean, if in the back of your head you thought to yourself, man, I would really like to work on HVAC equipment, that's probably a job you would excel in. If in the back of your head you always thought about it, you're probably going to excel in it because that's where your mind's at. It's where your mindset's thinking about, or welding, or even healthcare careers, whatever. why not now? If you're on the fence, you should at least come down and see us, pay us a visit, and see what we got to offer, because you might get pretty excited about your future.
Vance, as I listen to you talk, one of the words that comes to mind is adaptability. With all this stuff about automation and AI and industry changes, I mean, workers need to adapt just to stay competitive anymore, right? And or stay out ahead, if you will. But that adaptability is really first and foremost right now for the various kinds of jobs that are available.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I just met with the folks over at the Horse Group, construction guys, excavating, and that industry is in dire need of influx of new blood. They need some young people in there. They got an aging workforce. They're struggling to get people in the door, and we were brainstorming on ways to try and upskill and train people to operate heavy equipment, which we have a heavy equipment program over there at York County School of Technology. We just haven't ran a cohort with it yet, but we're getting close. We're gonna get geared up. We're gonna get these construction companies a pipeline to help get their future workforce going. Give them a consistent pipeline.
One of the great things about job possibilities over at York County School of Technology right now, Vance, is we seem to have a skills gap going on. A lot of industries are facing a shortage of skilled tradespeople, healthcare workers, technical professionals. Talk about that, if you would.
Well, yeah, I think what happened was, and there was nothing wrong with the philosophy. The schools want you to go to college. They want you to constantly, work on your education, which is what we do too. It's just an education in a different fashion. We're not reading out of books. We're doing things with our hands. So it's still the same concept, but it was always, you need a 4-year degree. You need a 4-year degree, and that's not true anymore.
Right.
Although that degree does help you move forward and advance in certain areas, it doesn't help you in operating heavy equipment or welding or working in HVAC. Those are things you need to go and get the skill sets by doing it, getting certified in what those areas require you to be certified in, and that's what we do. I mean, it is different, but it's the same. The difference is you're using your hands instead of reading stuff out of a book, and I take a lot of pride in that. I mean, because obviously that's the route I took, but it was boots on the ground,
right,
hands-on learning, and I always refer to the School of Hard Knocks. I went through the School of Hard Knocks. I got my degree there.
Right.
I hit the ground and I worked my butt and my tail off and slowly just kept growing. I have my own company, so that doesn't come easy.
Right. And you're doing what you do. I mean, you're out there doing the work with hands-on stuff on the stuff you're going to be doing for the life to come. One of the great things about the learning over at York County School of Technology, you have a fast track to employment. I mean, a lot of programs can be completed in months, not years. And I think that's something that really stands out to me as you've talked about that each week, Vance. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's another advantage of career and tech education. It's not a required 4-year for a degree. We try to get you in there, get you trained as quickly as possible, get you certified, and out there working. I'll give you an example. My mechatronics program and my HVAC program, both of those, half of those students already have jobs lined up before they even graduate.
Wow. Yeah,
the industry comes in there, they watch them work, they see what they're capable of doing. My HVAC guys, half of them have company vans already, and they haven't even graduated school. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how fast-paced it can be, but that's what we do.
Well, Mark and I don't even have a company van, so I mean, we're envious already. But the other part about this too, and I think this is really big, affordability. Much lower cost than a traditional 4-year degree. You talked about the 4-year degree with less student debt and adaptability, because you have programs where it meets maybe your time schedule a lot of times, where people who are working during the day want to come and be able to do that at night. You get that a lot of times. You got a curriculum that's built with direct input from employers to match real-world job needs. As you said, some of these people have vans and various jobs before they ever leave. And you got credentials that are portable from state to state to employers nationwide, because you're matching all those various kinds of requirements that are required for a nationwide ability to do the job. So I think that, all that's out there and a high return on investment. I mean, who doesn't want all that? I mean, those are all great benefits of career and technical training, right?
Yeah, and I think what the biggest change that's happened here recently, Gary, is that the average entry-level wage has shot up tremendously. So you're leaving a less than a year school certified and making more money right out of the gate than four-year college students are when they come out of college with 10 times more debt. I mean, and again, I'm not trying to trash that avenue going to college, but I'm just trying to show you the differences and where it makes sense that if you like working with your hands, and that's the key. We were talking about that yesterday with that management group. If you don't want to work with your hands, you're not going to come and do these kind of jobs.
Right.
Period.
And the thing that
you have to really have a passion to want to do things with your hands.
The thing that I think is really important here, and you can find a lot about this at educationthatpays.com, it's never too late to start a new chapter. I mean, adult learners can bring experience and motivation to the classroom. I mean, they're used to working. They're used to being out there a lot of times. So what kind of trades, what kind of things do you have available right now and coming up in the near future, Vance?
Well, we have our August starts coming up here, and that's our big start. That's where our HVAC, our welding, our auto tech, our mechatronics, cosmetology, medical assisting, dental assisting, all of those programs are going to get fired up here in August. And there's still room in some of them. Some of them have waiting lists. Some of them still have openings, but clock's ticking. So if you're thinking about doing something here this August, September, when school starts back in, give us a call, stop down, see what we have to offer, and get signed up if there's an opening in one of those areas that you really are passionate about.
You've also got healthcare, practical nursing, medical assisting, dental assisting, business and services, cosmetology you mentioned earlier. Where can they call, Vance, to get information on this?
Okay, so the number over there is 717-747-2130. Hit the prompt for our recruiter, and she'll give you all the information you need. She'll schedule a tour if you want to come down and see the facility, which I highly recommend. If you want to get fired up to want to come in and learn, come down and see what we have down there, and you'll get fired up.
Tell you what, I was fired up. I went down and did the tour, and I got to tell you, man, it is amazing what they have to offer. It's why they're getting national acclaim as one of the great places in the country for this kind of education. You can also go to educationthatpays.com, where you can find out about all the various opportunities right there and get signed up that way. But Vance, you guys are knocking it out of the park down there, man. Keep it up. I look forward every 2 weeks to find out something new about what's going on. But you are one of the great centers for opportunity here in York County right now, and I hope people will take advantage of that. Educationthatpays.com, or again, give a call down there. Take the tour. York County School of Technology, right up there, I believe 2179 Queen Street, South Queen Street, right here in York, and they are ready to help you today, no matter where you are. If you've gotten out of business for a while, you haven't been working, or you raised a family, you want to get back into the job field, maybe you're brand new, starting out, coming out of high school, they've got possibilities galore and ready for you. Final thought, Vance.
Well, yeah, I mean, even if you're retired and you still want to contribute and do something, there's so much need out there that I'm pretty sure any of them companies would hire you on even part-time as a retired person if you're skilled enough to handle what they need. So it goes, like you said, right from high school age up to, we've had people in their 70s come and get trained. So
wow.
Everything in between. But you know what, Gary? Always a pleasure to talk to you and Mark. Appreciate everything you guys do.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. EducationThatPays.com is where you go. Vance Miller, ready to help you and take the tour down there. Give a call down there, and don't be afraid to stop on down at York School of Technology, Adult Ed, and Continuing Education Center. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more coming your way straight ahead on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
That'll wake you up.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. You're just lying there in bed, minding your own business, kind of quietly trying to acclimate yourself to the day, getting ready to gradually slide in the day, and then you get this. Yeah. Go ahead. We gotta play a little of this out.
Yes, we do.
Ready? Let's go. Here we go. Make it stop. Yeah, that's what you'd be screaming as you're
Guns N' Roses, welcome to the jungle.
There it is. What could be more soothing than getting out of bed in the morning than this, huh? I mean, nice soothing song. Oh my God!
So
welcome to the jungle.
Yeah. So earlier, you were talking. Actually, it was news to me. I did not know that today was it Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day, or one of them anyway. And there is some details that are available. Are you ready for that?
I am.
All right. And of course, the lady at the Amazon.
The biggest deals have arrived with the e-commerce giant kicking off its 4-day sales extravaganza till June 26th. You must be a Prime member to access the deepest markdowns with up to 40% off fashion, 30% off electronics, and heavy discounts on Amazon devices like its Fire TV stick. And it's not just Amazon offering great bargains. Target Circle Day deals are up to June 26th. Its free Target Circle membership is required to score top deals, while Kohl's deal days continue to June 28th and are open to all shoppers, but Kohl's Rewards members can stack coupons for maximum savings. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
Interesting.
By the way, here's a story. We have a Crumble store here in the area. And Crumble makes cookies and confections and things like that. So a man is going viral on TikTok. He says he's a Crumble employee, and he warned customers that their new dirty sodas have 148 grams of sugar in them, and drinking too many of them, quote, probably isn't the best for your health, unquote. He says he's had customers shrug it off, saying they drink around 10 cans of regular soda every day.
What?
Okay. And they're not replacing those cans with dirty soda, so that's even worse. He also says some people ask him to add sugar with extra pumps of syrup.
Oh, my Lord.
Naturally, Crumble doesn't want their employees telling people not to order drinks or the cookies, which are packed with even more sugar. So the guy says he's been warned to shut his trap. Now, listen, if you walk into a Crumble, and we have one over here in west side of town. If you walk into a Crumble, you're not walking in there for dietary concerns. You're not walking in there to, honey, I'm going on a diet. You're not going to Crumble for that reason. Okay? So if someone says to you, if someone's working there, they've already accepted the fact that they're serving you something that's got a lot of sugar in it. Okay?
But 140?
Well, but I mean, it's not your job. You could look it up. I mean, you could look it up. It's not your job to tell them. It's like I went out to.
As long as you can look it up.
Well, yeah.
It should be posted. So that you know what
whatever. Yeah.
So you know what you're buying.
See, I always get confused by that. So you go into a restaurant and they put up the calorie counts, and you don't order something because there's too many darn calories in it.
Well,
I'd much sooner have no calorie count and say I'll look it up if I'm interested in it. Otherwise, I'm going to eat it and I'm going to lose my conscience.
My favorite.
But I had a thing a couple years ago where I went to this great steakhouse and I ordered a salad, and they have a special kind of salad dressing that they bring out, and my wife and I love it. And I don't eat there that often, but so the lady brings a salad dressing out, and then she says, and I quote, and she was the server, that salad dressing isn't really very good for you. It's got a lot of sugar in it. And I'm sitting there going, wait a second. We just came here, and now you're our dietary guide. I don't think so. Serve the food, shut it down, and let it go.
I see.
I got it. If I want to be, worried about how many calories or how much sugar there is in the salad dressing, I will take the impetus to look it up. Otherwise, so I'm saying the Crumble employee probably should not be telling you how much sugar is in. If you go there, you've automatically accepted the fact that you're about to go in there and eat kind of unhealthy.
Well, I mean, but everything is relative, right? I mean, 20 grams of sugar, 40,
Right.
100, 140. There's a certain limit. I know when I look for salt in stuff, and I remember one restaurant. I want to say, I remember Damon's, or I forget what it was, but they had the sodium listed, and it was like 2,000 milligrams.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, that's practical. I mean, can that start a heart attack?
But I'm saying, shouldn't I look that up? Isn't it on me to do that?
I liked it was there, so that I could oh my Lord,
convenience.
I should not maybe do that.
Yeah, but in other words, you're putting stuff up there that's going to make people not want to buy your product.
How about this?
Yeah, I have a tough time.
How about this? So, all right, here's something that is generally good for you. Right, vitamin C, right?
Right.
Isn't that good for you?
They say.
Generally, right.
Although too much of anything could be a bad thing.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about here. So with your crumble example and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But is vitamin C good for your brain? Let's find out.
Researchers in Japan studied more than 2,000 adults with an average age in their mid-60s, comparing vitamin C levels in their blood with MRI scans of their brains. Those with lower vitamin C levels tended to have less gray matter volume and weaker brain connectivity than people with higher levels. One study author says the findings open a new avenue for exploring how diet may help support brain health as we age. Researchers say more studies are needed to determine exactly how vitamin C may benefit the brain. The findings appear in the journal PLOS ONE. Daria Albinger, Fox News.
What do you think of that?
Well, I like that. I like that. But again, get educated before you go into someplace. If I go into McDonald's, I'm not going in for a diet. Okay, I'm going in there to, eat something that maybe isn't necessarily that great for me. I just am saying, you have a choice not to go in there too, and the same thing with crumble. You just have a choice. Have I beaten a dead horse there?
You have.
Okay, thank you. When we come back, Jamie Norpel, head of the York County Safety Collab, will give you the latest on what they're doing to get out in front of safety concerns here in York County. She's always working on something. And then Eugene DePasquale will check in on politics. Are we going to have a budget on time? Where do we stand on the Iran-U.S. Negotiations so far? Is the Strait of Hormuz open again? And what about the algae pool right there in Washington, D.C.? All those things straight out ahead right here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. But first, news at the top of the hour. WOYK news time is 8 o'clock.
This is York's only local show on York's only local station. This is the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Listen to your show every day. It's really good. I have you guys on every morning to wake up to.
Gary Sutton, mornings 6 to 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
All the things you're talking about are all the things we're talking about. It's Main Street America every day.
And you're getting your money's worth.
You're a brilliant mind, tremendous experience. You're great for the community.
The Gary Sutton Show on York's first station, WOYK.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Now, broadcasting live from WOYK's downtown York studios inside Wellspan Park, here's Gary Sutton.
How I felt when I dragged my lazy carcass before the mirror this morning. It's alive! Yeah, okay, you get the idea. This hour of the Gary Sutton Show brought to you by your digital bodyguard, YorkComputer.net, right out there at 2069 Carlisle Road in the Shiloh area of York. Open 9 to 5 every single weekday. You can give them a call at 717-739-9675 for flat rate managed IT services, 24/7 monitoring and cybersecurity. I've got to play with them for $49.99 a month, and I'll tell you what, they keep their eye on my stuff having to do with my digital back door, so to speak. I don't want people sneaking in there and doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, and that's exactly what Waldo Oakham and Nate and the good people over there make sure they do through York Computer, YorkComputer.net, or you can find them at yourdigitalbodyguard.com. They're right there at 2069 Carlisle Road out in Shiloh, and they are ready to help you today. They're local, they're accountable, they're flat rate, no surprises, proactive, not reactive, and ready to help you with whatever problems come up on your computer. Yourcomputer.net, because it feels good to have peace of mind. Gary Sutton with you here on a Tuesday morning on WOYK, my last day of the week. My last day of the week. What a slacker!
So what's going to be happening here?
Well, you're going to get Joel Sears tomorrow.
So Joel has he used to actually be the backup.
Joel sat in for me years ago on WSBA, and so we've lured him back in. I'm not sure what we lured him with, but we've lured him back in. He's been trying to get out all morning. He's been in here this morning monitoring.
Don't leave.
So we've got him, and then we've got on Friday we've got Jim Hanneslager in here from the Back Nine Golf, which by the way is the sponsor.
Jim in a while.
No, we haven't either. He's been on witness protection, and so we're going to get Jim back on Friday, and of course Back Nine Golf, where golf never sleeps,
and the sponsor of our text
line 833-478-4729, a cheap plug right there, and then on Tuesday.
Was it cheap?
Well, no, it wasn't. It's not cheap at all. And then on Thursday and Monday, our next guest is going to be in Jamie Norpel, who is the head of the York County Safety Collab, local historian, mom, wife, all-around swell lady, and she's here this morning with us on WOYK. Good morning, Jamie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. You're the one person that doesn't seem to fear this job at all. You've grasped it. You've hugged it. You've savored it. You've lingered with it. You seem to like it. I like that. Everybody else approaches with a slight bit of trepidation. You don't seem to go there at all.
The training has just been so thorough.
Oh,
the 3 hours that I was in that office, it just thoroughly trained.
Yeah, the training in here is really stellar. Yeah, I no question about it. No, it's funny. I was talking with Joel this morning. And I said, I don't know how to tell someone how to do this. I can tell you certain things that I do. I can tell you how we set it up. I can tell you what we're trying to do a morning magazine, focus locally and all that kind of stuff. But I can't really tell everybody. People always say, well, do you and Mark get together and confab ahead of time? No, we don't even talk to each other. We come in outside of saying hello in the morning. And then we get ready for the show, and then it just kind of goes. And I don't know. So what have you learned so far in being a talk show host? Now you are a talk show host extraordinaire here, and the only female, by the way, to ever host this show. Not that I don't want that to sound chauvinistic at all. It's not meant to. It's just a fact. That's all.
No, I'm expecting a badge for me to wear and a special outfit. If you give me a uniform that says "Only Female on the Gary Sutton Show."
No, we're not
that would
doing.
Be an honor.
That would be chauvinistic. Yeah. Badges? We don't need no stinking badges. No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I love being on your radio. I think the fun thing is I get to interview people and talk about cool things that are happening in the community.
Right.
I mean, that is really enjoyable. And Mark really does, most of the work when I come in as a guest. He softballs me things. He brings things up. He does a lot of the hard work. So frankly, it's a lot of fun. The hardest part is trying to listen to interviewees and actually listen, but then be prepared to have a comment back.
Yeah.
And that balance of, because I just want to soak it in and listen and be able to ask questions, but you have to provide commentary quickly too.
Right.
And like it's pithy and punchy. And that can be hard sometimes.
Yeah. The art of conversation, listening, and then taking that to another level is hard. By the way, I wish all of the people who sit in for me would stop singing Mark's praises. It takes me like 2 weeks to bring his ego back down when I get back. It's like, it's like I don't know. Anyway, great to have you in this morning. And what's going on with the York County Safety Collab these days? What you're always doing something new and exciting. Tell us what's happening this morning.
Every quarter, we schedule a community safety summit, and this is for people who are involved in any type of youth service, whether they are in probation or a judge, law enforcement, anywhere down to even parents, school district, educators, a lot of nonprofit leaders, and anyone, frankly, that's interested in supporting our kids. So we host a summit every quarter. The next one's coming up July 30th. Okay. July 30th. Your listeners, if they're interested, they can reach out to me. Again, I'm Jamie Norpel, and you can find me on the York County Safety Collab's website at yorkcountysafetycollab.org. And it's for 2 hours. And what we're going to have for this one is the whole goal is to get York County to think about systems level change. How can we, lift our heads up from the day-to-day grind of our day jobs and actually think about more coordination, more alignment? Can we avoid duplication? Are there small tweaks that we can do to effect immediate change this summer, but are there then also long-term goals that we can set our eyes towards in the next few years to change for kids? So for this one, we're going to have Melissa Leathery. She's the Executive Director of Human Services here in York County. She's going to come and give us an update on the impact of the Big Beautiful Bill on SNAP and Medicaid benefits, because there is going to be a lot of tightening of the purse strings, a lot of more restrictions coming our way. And so I know a lot of listeners would be in support of that, in a lot of ways I am too. It also, though, means that a lot of the human service providers that we have in the county are going to be strapped. We're going to see a reduction in the availability of different food and SNAP and all those things. And even, I'm not sure if you saw, they're requiring an increase in work. They're requiring that if you receive those benefits, you've got to work, 80 hours a month. And so she's going to come in and just share, here's how it's going to impact the boots on the ground, the people that are serving those, because you're going to see now an increase in soup kitchens and food pantries and those lines, clothing centers. So how does that then impact us? Because it is going to have an impact on nonprofit leaders. And I'll say, Gary, I've been in now the nonprofit space for 3 years. I used to be a high school history teacher. You and I both come from that same background. Nonprofit world is tough. You are constantly fundraising and trying to work with limited resources, and so the people that are out there in that job doing that work, we're just trying to figure out how we can support them better.
You talk about safety. Then how does that transfer into the realm of safety when you're looking at some of these cuts that are going to be there with SNAP benefits and so forth?
Well, now if you have a parent who is going to have to bring on another part-time job or work longer hours to be able to feed their family because they don't have that, the milk or eggs or cheese availability, you're now going to have kids that aren't supervised. Just yesterday, I was listening to a children's roundtable that's held again every quarter, and we had 3 different schools come in and give us a State of the Union on what kids are experiencing. And I was you hear about how youth are struggling by lack of parental involvement, right? But to hear it from actual schools yesterday was startling. I mean, Gary, we're hearing everything from, of course, increased in anxiety and depression and this emotional dysregulation. But schools have reported they're getting more violent. They're starting to throw desks, for example, or even keeping their clothes on is a challenge. When they did a little poll of third graders, the majority of them said that they have unrestricted access to social media. So we're seeing this increase in sexualization, increase in adultification, and I think when you see then the limitation of resources in the community, which again, I can understand why we need to make sure that there isn't waste and people abusing the system. But there are going to be ripple effects that now parents are not going to be as even available as they were before to support their kids.
You know, when you look at that, how the connectivity of that, just that kind of legislation, because now you have more latchkey kids, you have more kids coming home to no parents, maybe, or coming home, parents are coming home later because they're taking on a second or third job. It really does affect the safety. And so does government understand this when they pass these kind of things? I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I think there is some logic behind what they're doing. And yet at the same time, it does have a real effect to people on the street and real effect to people who are living day to day, real life here in America.
Well, my problem isn't that, the government is not there, in my opinion, to hold our hand and babysit and do everything for us. So the fact that they're even providing SNAP and Medicaid, I think, is something to be proud of. And I'm glad we have these services, the fact that we even have them. And then pulling back, this is where it's time for the York County community now to step up then and figure out how our nonprofits and how our local businesses are going to support people and also help people support themselves, right? Teach them training of self-sufficiency so then they don't, rely on others, and how can we help them reach that finish line of sustainability. My issue is that when the government cuts things back quickly and abruptly and leave people hanging or have unfunded mandates. I mean, we had a school yesterday just share that they lost their mental support staff. There was someone there that was trained in mental health that was going to be housed within the school district in the northern part of the county, and it's just gone. And the educator that was sharing us the update on the school said, we just lost our support staff. And so I said, wait, hold on, why? Like, well, we lost funding. They cut funding. And so they have this stagnant pay that's coming in from the government towards our county and our services. And so we're expected to be able to provide all these services with no funding. And that's where I have an issue is, okay, well, now we need to go to the community and get our philanthropists who are already extremely generous to donate more. Do we go back to then more job opportunities? Can we create jobs that are, low entry, low barrier to entry, that people can come in having not a lot of, expertise to be able to make an affordable living for their family? So it is really complicated.
Well, and there's no time of adjustment. There's no time, and you've described that very well. There's no time to really say, okay, if not that, then what? And get a time to really kind of switch over. I think that's important as well. And important for people in a time where budgets have already been made to be able to make appropriation in a budget or make some provision in a budget where they know this maybe is coming. I think those are all really important things. Jamie, always good stuff. Looking forward to having you in here on Thursday and Monday. And I know you're going to have a great time, and you'll do a great job, as always. I never, ever worry when you're here.
Thanks, Gary. I'll look forward to. Hey, Mark, I'll see you on Thursday, bright and early. I will be there.
Mark is shaking his head. He's excited about that. So, Jamie Norpel here this morning, York County Safety Collab.org, York County Safety Collaborative.org. Check it out for all the things that they're doing. I'll tell you, so much for the community, doing a great job. We'll take a break. We'll come back, maybe with some news you might have missed and other assorted items. All here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. Still out ahead at 8:35. Eugene DePasquale will join us all straight ahead here on the Gary Sutton Show. It is WOYK. It's a Tuesday morning.
In the chill of a January day, Lorena Bobbitt supporters stood outside the courthouse in Manassas, Virginia, as Mrs. Bobbitt told a jury her husband physically and sexually abused her.
He kicked me. He told me that I told you not to cry. And he slapped me on my face. He pulled my hair. And he squeezed my face.
Defense lawyers argued the abuse drove Mrs. Bobbitt to a moment of insanity.
Everything about this case is crazy and bizarre. This is a classic case of irresistible impulse. In this case, the impulse is clear. It's anger, and it's to cut off her husband's penis.
The jury cleared her on charges of unlawful and malicious wounding.
It was on this date,
Judge had Lorena Bobbitt
not the trial, but 33 years ago today, on this date in 1993, Lorena Bobbitt did cut off her husband's penis after he allegedly raped her. John Bobbitt later acquitted of marital sexual assault. Lorena, by the way, was acquitted because she had malicious wounding. She was acquitted by reason of insanity.
Wow. Yeah, she was a beautician down near my brother-in-law's house. She was out there on Route 3, had a beautician's place in a little shopette down there, and she used scissors. I'm not sure if she was a beautician afterward, and I'm not sure if any guy would ever go to her for a haircut later on, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not suggesting.
But, it was the beginning of the end for
Mr. Bobbitt.
We have never heard of that story, that kind of story making, the news.
Didn't he become a porn star later on after that or something?
Did
I don't know if he's a star,
while.
But
yeah, right. That's a good way to put it.
But just not good.
No, and she's done some shows. I mean, she seems to have overcome the trauma.
Somewhere in there, some women were smiling about that, and it was just, and didn't she throw it out the window or something like that of her car?
Yep, they managed to find it. And,
not to make this story even worse than what it was, but
I guess there's always the hope, that it could be like reattached and.
But
that didn't,
and useful again, and whatever.
It didn't work.
No. So there you go. Lorena Bobbitt. Boy, that name, that's kind of like Fatal Attraction. Glenn Close in Fatal Attraction and cooking the buddy on the stove, that kind of stuff. Every guy in America feared Lorena Bobbitt.
Buttafuoco.
Yeah.
Remember when his girlfriend showed up and attacked his wife?
I know. What goes on here?
And this was before social media.
Exactly. I mean, these people are. By the way, some news you might have missed.
Oh,
some news we haven't hit that in a while.
No.
Let's see. 1 in 3 adults under 35 lived with a parent in 2025. Now, the two main reasons were rising housing costs and working in radio. So those were the two main reasons that, and that's what it says here. I don't know if that's true or not. Let's see. Amazon Prime Day starts today. Not to be outdone. On Etsy, you can buy a candle made from human toenails for $5. So there's the other side of that.
Yes, Etsy.
A Florida pickleball player, an area you're in, Mark.
Yes.
A Florida pickleball player assaulted someone with her paddle. Now she faces life in prison, which for the average pickleball player is about 2 years. Okay, so that's you're a little older if you play that.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever. Let's see. Gas prices are down. Or as every husband with a bunch of kids put it, there goes that excuse to get out of a family trip. So there it is. Let's see what else we have here. A new poll finds 81% of Americans say there's more dividing the wealthy from working people than uniting them. The other 19% were too busy scratching off lottery tickets to answer, so they didn't know. Let's see. President Trump's approval rating, we read that this morning, has fallen to 30%. And you know what that means, kids? We're getting Greenland. Okay. Now, his supporters have peeled off more than the lining of the reflecting pool, so that's one of the things that's happening on that 30% deal. Speaking of the reflecting pool, President Trump plans to drain the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, not so he can clean it, but so he could stage a UFC fight there. They think that might be a good place for that. I don't know.
Maybe.
It says that here on the story. Americans now need $1.46 million to A, retire comfortably, B, purchase a house, or C, buy a ticket to the World Cup. So that's $1.46 million. Yeah,
the crowds look pretty good, though.
They do. Let's see what else we have. Let's see. Experts say I have to read these carefully sometimes.
Yes.
Experts say being out of shape is more likely to kill you than smoking.
Wow.
As for doing both, that's the experiment West Virginia is running right now. So, let's see. France is restricting public alcohol consumption due to high temperatures. And now the French are doing more whining than whining. Whining.
I
You
see
get that?
what you did there.
Yeah, I see where we went with that. But former Federal Reserve Chair Alan Greenspan has died at the age of 100. He was supposed to die at 90, but then he raised that rate. So that he went to 100. Yeah, he did that. Let's see. Music executive Clive Davis, speaking of people dying, died at the age of 94.
Yes.
Big music executive, really great guy. Not to say he was old, but when he discovered Earth, Wind, and Fire, it wasn't the band. Okay, it was a little older than that. Oh, there you go. Let's see. Madonna says her biopic fell apart over budget concerns. I believe it. Have you seen the price of penicillin these days? I'm just saying. Let's see what else. Shohei Ohtani became a father again.
Oh.
And it's the first time in a while that he's been daddy to anyone other than the NL West. Okay, so, and those are some of the news you might not have gotten to. We got it for you this morning.
You mentioned pickleball.
Yes.
And I saw a story, got it for you now, because I've heard two different sides of this.
Okay.
So let's hear the story first.
Staying active can get tougher as we get older, but pickleball is helping more people keep moving. Recreation experts say the sport's combination of low cost, simple rules, and smaller courts has helped make it America's fastest growing sport. In fact, participation has grown more than 300% over the last 5 years. Dr. Ashley Hardy of Clemson University says the game doesn't require a big investment to get started.
So really, like most people are operating with a pair of sneakers regularly. And then you can buy a $10 paddle or a $20 paddle set with a couple of balls and a couple of paddles.
With participation continuing to grow across the country, supporters say pickleball is proving that staying active doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Frank Lanza, Fox News.
There you go.
I did read one story where they said that, yes, it's gone up a lot when you use 5-year time frame.
Right.
But they said like 2024 it went up like 20%, but last year it only went up by single digits.
So it's slowing down a little bit. It's like but it's still a good sport.
Yes.
I had a friend though that played pickleball, and he said, "Well, I'm going to play it." He face planted. Lost a tooth.
Yeah.
He had just gotten his whole mouth redone, had teeth put in. He had to get put in again. I mean, you don't face plant on pickleball. No. Yeah, come on.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. By the way, this hour being brought to you by York Computer. You can find them at yorkcomputer.net. Give them a call today at 717-739-9675 for flat rate managed IT services, 24/7 monitoring and cybersecurity. Walt Oakham and company over there will also repair your computer. They can even remote into your home to fix your computer, and you can stay right there in your pajamas, okay? I mean, that's how simple it gets. But they're located out there at 2069 Carlisle Road in the Shiloh area of York. And when it comes to my computer needs, whether it's getting my computer fixed, getting a new computer, or having them take care of my IT services and making sure I stay safe, your computer is the one-stop shop that you need and nothing else. Give them a call today at 717-739-9675 or stop by and see them. They're open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, 2069 Carlisle Road in Shiloh. Up next, Eugene DePasquale joins us here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK. Welcome back to the Gary Sutton Show here on WOYK, and so happy to have you aboard with us this morning. You know, I wanted to tell you, and it's something that I've been interested in a long time because I've dealt with it for most of my life, is depression, okay, clinical depression. And a lot of you say, well, geez, I get depressed. Well, there's getting depressed, and then there's clinical depression, in which you really don't have a lot of control. And, sometimes it's passed down heretically. Sometimes you get it. But depression is generally caused by a decreased activity in areas of the brain involved in regulating mood. And that's where NeuroStar treatment comes in here with York TMS Clinic. YorkTMSClinic.com has all the information for you on this. But the NeuroStar treatment, TMS, means transcranial magnetic stimulation. And it is another way of treating depression that is not generally well known, but has been around for a while and new generally here to the York area. And it goes right to the source of depression, which is your brain. It's a non-invasive, non-drug treatment that uses focused magnetic pulses, low magnetic pulses, to wake up those areas and help your brain work the way it should. Now, people are saying, do you put your head inside a cone or anything? No. You're lying back in kind of this easy chair, and they put a thing on the side of your head, and you sit there, you're talking the whole time, and you drive yourself there, you drive yourself home afterward, you're awake the entire time. Nothing is different. You're going to hear some noises. That'll be about the only thing. But if you want to see how it works, go to @Gary Sutton Show on Facebook, and Dr. ATN and I, who runs the York TMS Clinic, did a podcast on that and showed just how non-invasive it is. Now, they're finding out all kinds of great results. For example, they're finding out in adult depression right now, 83% of patients saw improvement in depression symptoms right away, and 62% of patients saw symptom relief, remission. Now, it has most major insurances take care of it, and you also will find you don't have to be referred to by anyone else. You can go there yourself. What I would suggest, get the information ahead of time. Stop by at 1806 North George Street right here in York at York TMS Clinic. Pick up a packet of information. Ask questions of the people there, Simone, Dr. ATN, the other people who work there. Even see the NeuroStar and see just how non-threatening it really is. And you will find out information that could help you. And whether you know somebody who has depression, someone who has PTSD, for example, someone has OCD, someone has is running some kind of depression where they've used drugs and other kinds of help, but it hasn't really worked for them so far, it might just be the answer for them. You can give them a call today at 717-699-7361. That's 717-699-7361. Tell them Gary Sutton proudly sent you to YorkTMSClinic.com. WOYK News Time is 8:38, and we welcome in this morning Eugene DePasquale, the head of the Democratic Party here in the state of Pennsylvania. Eugene, good morning. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Gary. Doing great. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing really well. Great to have you aboard today, but lots of things going on. First of all, the clock's ticking for Pennsylvania lawmakers right now to get a budget in on time. We got, about 8 days to go, 7 days to go. And, one of the things that's always bothered me, Eugene, is the fact that it's mandated in our Constitution to get it in on time. But if we don't, nothing happens. I mean, last year it took till November. You were an auditor general. That's got to drive you crazy, too, because you're a guy that deals in numbers and exactness and all that, right?
Well, yeah, and look, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. Counties, and when you say there's no consequence, there is a consequence usually to local governments and school districts.
Right.
It's just not a consequence to legislators that are delayed in passing the budget. That's right.
Yeah, and that bothers me. And I've often said, it'd be nice if you penalize those people where you lose salary and you don't get it to be retroactive when the thing gets settled later on. In other words, you lose what you do. What do you think?
When I was a legislator and we were delayed, we didn't get paid. And I remember Beth Mackert and I were talking about it, like going, well, we missed 1 month's pay. That was fine. The next month, we both had to go down to the bank and get a loan. Okay, like that. It's what we did. Let me tell you something. It puts an incentive on people to, not everyone's a millionaire that can afford that stuff. Say, hey guys, we better get to work here because we're not getting paid. I do believe that there should be a withholding of pay until the budget's passed. Not to the state employees, but I'm talking to the legislators. State employees, I don't like when they use them as political pawns. But I don't think legislators should get paid until the budget's passed.
What was your take last week? The Pennsylvania Supreme Court came down with this ruling that skill games in Pennsylvania, the Supreme Court ruled that skill games are slot machines several times over, meaning that was from David Weck, who was a justice there on the majority opinion, meaning multiple legal definitions. Therefore, they're subject to the same regulation as traditional slot machines, and they get 120 days now to adapt to this. But they estimated there are 70,000 skill game machines in operation throughout the Commonwealth and said that number dwarfs the number of legal slot machines in Pennsylvania casinos. What does this mean for budgets, and what does it mean for collecting money here in the state of Pennsylvania?
So overall, and this is just me, I'm not a big gambler anyway. Look,
Neither am
I play the Super Bowl? Do I play the Super Bowl Black Bowl at a party? Yes. I'm not trying to be holier than thou about it. And I've done my share of fantasy football, yes. But I'm overall not a big fan of any of this stuff. That's just me, my own views. I'm more of a fan of, and again, not for me personally, but table games as opposed to slots, because I view those at least as games of skill. You can win you can get good at blackjack. There's a World Series of poker. There's not a World Series of slots. Slots, the house wins. Having said that, people like to do this stuff, and they like to play this stuff. Again, not me. I don't get it, but, look, I have my own libertarian views on some of this stuff. Let people live. I do think these things should be regulated, and I do think they should be taxed. I don't like the idea, and people can say, I don't like kids have access to this stuff. I don't like that. They're all over the place. I think there should be regulation. We should be making sure that their kids don't get near them, and there should be some level of a tax with them, because they are a competition with the casino. I think. I haven't seen actual data on that, but my gut tells me they are. But there is no. What I am most uncomfortable about is you're walking. These things are all over the place, and kids have access to them, and they can tell me the lady behind the sheets is carding them. I don't believe it. I think there needs to be tighter regulation of this, and the legislature and the governor need to work that out.
I was looking this morning at some polls, and one of the polls that came out here in Pennsylvania was the Franklin Marshall poll, said that a lot of people here in the state of Pennsylvania, I think it was like 66% of the people are really opposed to the president's handling of the economy so far. When the president came in, this is one of the main things. He wanted to cut down inflation, obviously all that. Well, we've had the raise in gas prices. Now they're lowering as the Strait of Hormuz starts to come open here. But, the president's certainly suffering right now in the polls, at least for the moment, because of his handling of the economy. Your take on that?
Look, it's likely why he won the election. We can talk about this ad, that ad, and that's I'm not saying that doesn't have a factor, but to me it was inflation and Biden's view of handling it, and Harris maybe not offering an alternative vision to Biden that gave the opening for Trump. And in Trump's first term, he always had people would get mad at him, but they always thought his handling of the economy was better. So I think he had an opening there. I think there's two things. A, it's Iran, the prices, all the litany of economic issues that are still out there. But I think what a lot of people also don't like is he doesn't seem focused on it. He seems focused on all these other items, whether it is Iran or whether it's the reflecting pool, all these little fights he keeps getting into with other people, whether it's his own party or Democrats. And he doesn't seem focused on trying to actually turn the economic ship around. And I think not only are people upset about the high prices, but his lack of focus on it, I think, doubly upsets.
I think you make a great point. And again, we try to take out the right and left and all that kind of stuff here. And I know people will still accuse you of going right and left, me or you. But bottom line is, when you look at this, people want to know that you're focused on us. And if this was the main reason you got elected coming in, it should be the main thing that you're working on and get that out of the way before you go to some of these other things. And I agree. One of the things that sunk Jimmy Carter was the idea that he got involved with everything. They said, even to the point, the age-old story of he scheduled time on the White House tennis courts. You hear those kind of, Right. I mean, and it seems like President Trump gets sidetracked with a lot of little stuff, and whether or not it takes his focus off the bigger things, the perception is that it does. And I think your point is really well taken, that focus in on getting that inflation rate down, focus in on getting prices of store staples down, focus in on the ability to buy a house and all those kind of things that Americans deal with every day as tabletop issues, right?
Presidents of both parties that have had a good economy have been given great leeway on other issues.
Yeah, they have.
They have. I mean, you just look, again, if you take modern polling, when the economy is good, presidents of both parties have leeway to tackle these other priorities. And actually, the public will say, well, I'm doing okay. I'm going to give them a shot on that, right? Even if they don't necessarily agree with it. When they're struggling economically, they want you focused on their economics. And let's be clear, the number one job of any president is to try to make sure the country's doing well.
Right.
How do you do well? People doing well economically.
Well, and people, to give a great example of that, you look at a president like, let's say, Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton suffered, of course, with the Monica Lewinsky thing and that whole scandal. And yet when he leaves office, the economy's doing pretty well. He goes out with 58% approval rating. I don't know how many people remember that, but that absolutely happened. And so
I think his approval rating went up when they impeached him over the Monica Lewinsky thing.
Yeah.
And I remember I had a lot of Republican friends going, I'm making money. Why are they trying to remove this guy from office? People that weren't overly political. Look, the Monica thing was disgusting. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But the economy was good. People gave him leeway. And there's no other way to explain that.
It goes right to the heart of what you said, and whether you like that or not really doesn't have anything to do with it. The fact was, it was what it was, and of course, in some ways, he became a better Republican than some of the Republicans were at that time, with working with Newt Gingrich and some of those people. They
actually passed budgets, Gary. We're getting old here. They actually passed budgets.
Yeah, no continuing resolutions back in those days, man. We actually passed a budget for the year that laid things out. And one other thing, Vice President Vance is doing a lot of work right now with the negotiations. And he says this morning in the Washington Post that Iran has agreed to nuclear inspection as under the Obama deal. You and I talked last week, and we said, what do you want coming out of this? And I said the one thing that would change what President Obama would have done would have been if they turn over their uranium that they can enrich for weapons-grade uranium. Now, I'm no expert on how they do all that, but I'm sure there are experts that they would have involved. This is kind of the number one thing, I think, that you want coming out. What's your take on that? Final thought this morning.
So, final thought. First of all, I don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. They were further away when this deal was ripped up in 2017 than they are now. Having said that, there's one thing I like about all the crazy stuff they've done with this thing, that at least Vance is working on this. I like that. The one thing that is a bigger challenge now, and not this, look, you people, I know I got my partisan hat here.
Yeah.
But in the Obama deal, we had Russia, China, France, UK, and us all involved in the deal. Right now, it's only us.
Right.
They've got to do a better job of building bridges. They're right to focus on this, so I want to be respectful of that. But they've got to have other partners in this, because it can't just be us and Iran on this. There has to be neutral parties who maybe even are closer to Iran than us that are also helping in the verification process, because nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. And so it can't just be us doing this inspection. That is a recipe for failure.
In other words, you're looking for
there's got to be a coalition part of it.
Yeah, some real peer pressure that's going to come from some of the big players in the world.
Yes.
So Iran says, oh, it's not just them. It's, guess what? It's China, it's Russia, it's whoever else is out there that could affect us. That's a whole other game for them. They understand power in the long run. That's a good point.
That's right.
Hey, Eugene, always good talking to you on a Tuesday, man. Thank you so much. I'll look forward to catching up with you next week, okay?
Hey, you got it, Gary. Take care. Have a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Eugenia Pasquale here with us on the Gary Sutton Shows. We analyze a few of the things going on statewide and also nationally and internationally. We'll take a break. We'll come back with some final thoughts all here on the Gary Sutton Show on WOYK.
Cherish, cherish. So tired of broken hearts and losing at this game. Before I start this dance, I'll take a chance of telling you I want
Little Madonna coming back here.
Yeah, I mean, she sounds good there for a change.
She does. Someone said the newest album she has coming out is the best she's ever had.
No kidding.
I was just reading that.
I didn't think she was a particularly good singer, but didn't sound bad there.
You know what, though? She was a brilliant business lady. I mean,
no
she
doubt about that.
merchandised herself. Now, I did see a story this morning. I was looking through earlier, and I hesitated to bring it up. Madonna says...
What? We talked about penises.
Well, here we go. So Madonna says she doesn't want to get naked anymore. And her reason is very simple, but also very Madonna. In a new piece for Interview magazine,
yes,
she said, quote, "I don't want to be naked because everyone's naked. I want to do what people are not doing, which is thinking and wearing clothes. For the record, Madonna is 67. I'm not sure anybody's clamoring for her to be naked at this particular point. The word is gravity. Anyway, in that same interview, Madonna revealed what happened to that biopic she was working on. After 2 years of writing and developing it with Universal Studios, the two parties had a falling out over money. Quote, I've had a huge life, so I needed a big budget. They couldn't get their heads around it, quote unquote. Then Netflix reached out about turning her life into a series, but she couldn't use her own script unless she brought it back from Universal, who were charging, quote, an extortionist price, quote unquote. After 8 or 9 months, the Netflix collaboration fell apart, so she decided to go back to music, which is, quote, what I was put on the earth to do, quote unquote. Madonna talking about that. So there you go.
So,
yeah.
You like M&Ms?
They're okay, yeah.
I like
M&M's peanuts. I like
yeah,
that.
the peanuts are good,
Yeah.
and Reese's Pieces are okay. But the M&Ms, I like them because I eat them twice. First, I chew off very delicately.
Here's the Mackenzian
the shell,
explanation, yeah.
And then only after that's gone
sure.
do I eat the chocolate.
Yeah,
so
so-
I eat it twice. But I'm
You're the only person probably in America that has talked about that.
perhaps.
But go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, more than once. But here is some disturbing news.
Consumers will still see red, orange, yellow, and green, but no blue or brown M&Ms due to difficulties making those colors without synthetic dyes. Parent company Mars making that move to comply with the Make America Healthy Again movement's initiative to rid food of artificial dyes along with other toxic additives and pesticide residues. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying all those play a significant role in numerous health problems. Paul Stevens, Fox News.
And then depression set in. So there you go. Yes.
No blue or brown.
Speaking of depression, there's a new study that notes that humans evolved to pay close attention to danger, most clearly or most clear and present threats. But in our lives today, that instinct is being overwhelmed by an endless supply of bad news from around the world. It may seem like bad news overload is a uniquely American thing, but it's a global struggle. 40% of people worldwide say that at least sometimes or often they avoid the news. In the U.S., it's 42%. It's over 60% in Bulgaria, Turkey, Croatia, and Greece. And it's under 30% in most of Scandinavia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Japan, where only 11% said they avoid the news. And the reasons people do this are relatable. News puts them in a bad mood. They feel overwhelmed and powerless to act. And in some cases, it's because it leads to real-life arguments they also want to dodge. The study points out that decades of research shows that our human minds weigh negative information more heavily than positive. We're drawn to it faster, and we remember it longer. They put it like this. A predator nearby mattered more than a beautiful sunset. So what do we do about it? Well, trying to block it all out probably won't work. News will find its way to us in one way or another, especially now that we all have smartphones. And when that happens, it will still be a major burden. Also, you're not better off being less informed and aware. Right. The key to manage the consumption and the sources, which means you should try to keep the news to designated buckets of time as much as possible and stick to accurate, trustworthy sources which aren't manipulating and entertaining you to keep you hooked for hours and hours. So I saw the alternative to this was the top 5 pieces of good news to save your brain from all that bad news. For example, the reflection pool algae blooms are beautiful this time of year. Okay, that would be something that would help you. Yes. I'm just thinking. Maybe. Your obnoxious coworker from New York finally shut up about the Knicks. That's good news, right? You won't have to sit through any more He-Man movies. That's fast, yeah. The U.S. men's soccer team advanced to the knockout stage, whatever that means. You only have one more reason of listening, or one more season of listening to Aaron Rodgers' dumb nicknames for teammates.
That's it, one more.
Gas prices are down from something you can't afford to something you still can afford. You still can't afford. Sorry, bad example. And by the way, there's still time for you to be invited to Travis and Taylor's wedding.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
YourComputer.net, your sponsor of this hour of the Gary Sutton Show. Don't forget, give them a call today at 717-739-9675 for managed IT services. No hourly bills, no surprise charges, just reliable IT support that keeps your devices safe and running. Revs baseball tonight, starting at 6:15 from Charleston, West Virginia. Hope you've enjoyed the show today. Joel Sears in for me tomorrow. I'll see you next Tuesday. I'm Gary Sutton on WOYK. It is 9 o'clock.